What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Montana State Bobcat Dynasty, and we are going into Season 11 now. It's been 10 long seasons so far. We've been very up and down. We've been really good the past few years, but we've just been good. We haven't been great, and that's something I'm looking to change, hopefully in this offseason and in future ones, getting more big-name players, because we've been making bowl games consistently now, which we weren't doing in the first half of this series. But let's get ourselves a national championship. We got to get ourselves the big one here, and that's what our goal is going to be, especially in this Kevin Fuller era, if he can really put together for his sophomore season. So let's jump into this and get him some help. But before we do that, one thing I did forget to show in the last video is the top 25 rankings and the conference rankings. Iowa, they won it all over Minnesota, who's not number 2 anymore, but they were. Oklahoma now is number 2, followed by Colorado, who had a superb running back. South Carolina, Minnesota, who just lost. Texas A&M, NC State, Ohio State, Purdue, Nebraska, Virginia Tech, Maryland, Texas Tech. They got LSU, Arizona, Michigan, Cal, Florida, Miami, Northern Illinois, Penn State, Notre Dame, Florida State, Stanford, and Arizona State. We were inside of the top 25 earlier this year, but things kind of melted down at the end of the season. And then we do win the Big Sky Conference again, barely, only because NAU choked at the end of the year, although we did have a tiebreaker over them as we go 5-3. So do the Bengals and the Hornets. So a lot of teams going 5-3 in Big Sky Conference here. Portland State and Idaho 4-4 inside of the conference. Montana, not great as they're 3-5. Same with Eastern Washington. And then Weber State, they're a lowly 2-8 on the season, or 3-8 on the season. Well, we've got a couple of Bobcats heading to the NFL. Our tackles, Shannon McBride and Justin Moore, they came in. They were the same class. They were 2 of the best offensive linemen in the nation. Moore as a 95 overall, both NFL bound. So we're going to need to fix up our offensive line, although we did kind of do that last year, kind of preparing for something like this. David Thomas, another offensive lineman, he's leaving. But these guys are backups. Tyrone Manigat, he was a special player for us, who wasn't necessarily always expected of him, but he was a fantastic backup running back. Isaac Wilcher's leaving. Pat Hadley, who had a great freshman and senior seasons. Travis Kraft is graduating. Blake Hayes, Larry Lane, who went off especially at the end of this year, recording his best season as a Bobcat. Manny Phillips, Max Leiter, impact linebacker, he is going to be graduating. Curtis Brown, who was superb to have alongside Larry Lane, a great 1-2 punch at wide receiver. Cameron Whitaker's leaving, so we're losing both our safeties, and Mario Harris. So that's a lot of good players that are leaving, so that's a lot of good players we've got to replace now. All right, we've brought in a bunch of new players to be Montana State Bobcats. Let's take a look at them. We started off by, go big or go home. We went after the number 1 defensive end, seeing that's one of our biggest needs. He ends up going to Arizona State, though. I wasn't necessarily expecting to get him, but, it was worth a chance. Terrence Williams and Marcus Lumpkin, we got both those guys in in-season recruiting. We got a free safety in Anthony Parquette. We got another outside linebacker because, we need linebackers so badly. We're probably actually just going to redshirt him because of all the linebackers we've got, especially middle linebackers. We got Ryan Carter. I really like what he has here. I didn't scout his attributes and whatnot, so he's probably not as fast as that. But even if he's runs somewhere in the 4.2s or even a low 4.3, that's still pretty speedy. Plus he's got good hands. I think he's going to be the future running back, as this is Vince Robinson's senior year. Will Black we got during the in-season recruiting. We did get this defensive end, though. Gavin Potts, he seems to be solid. Will probably be our number 1 defensive end going into the year. We got another backup running back in Russell Slater. He looks like he's pretty solid. Definitely more of a power back, just to complement the speed of the other guy, Carter. Sterling Johnson, we got during the in-season recruiting. We went after a strong safety, didn't get him. Another player we went after, he ends up going to Arizona State, which is fine because we got the other free safety. This wide receiver we missed out on, and also this other player, Morris, defensive end. They both go to the same school there. Josh Hamilton going to Sacramento State. We needed a fullback on the roster. I figured why not just hand pick one out, and I got one that was pretty speedy as far as fullbacks go. Plus, he also has A for catching, so maybe get him involved, kind of like Ron White in the Albuquerque Vipers. And you know what? How about another running back? Because so many of them were interested. He might get redshirted as well. I'm not sure at this point. Jonathan Allen, an athlete, he goes to Minnesota, the defending champions. We got another free safety, another middle linebacker, a cornerback in Terrell Smith. We went after a tight end in Adam Humphrey, didn't get him. And then finally, Zach Wheeler to be just a depth player on the offensive line. Here's our training results. Otis Minor went up 6 points. He's one of the most improved players. That only gets him to a 68 though. Breakthrough player, but he only gets up to a 62. Not sure how much that's going to help our team. Jimmy Kent up to an 89 overall. Jesse Schroeder is an 88. Kevin Fuller, he's an 86 overall. He went up 2 in speed. His awareness went up by 4. Let's look at his passing attributes. 1 more throw power, 2 more to his throw accuracy. Hopefully he'll have a better sophomore year. Ben Collins is an 84 overall. Kevin Thomas, a freshman defensive end, is an 82, so we might not actually have an issue on the defensive line. Cole Hurd is an 82 as a cornerback. Corey Johnson, 78 overall. 76 for a defensive tackle. Punter goes up 4 points. A fullback is going to go up 4. Dave Pope is almost at a 90. Robert Alexander's an 83, and this guy's like barely played for us. He hasn't even played at all. That's how much depth we have at linebacker currently. Lee Mullins goes up 3 points, well deserved there. Other quarterback goes up some. Keith Taylor goes up. Turner, he gets a couple points. How about Vince Robinson? Might he become our first 99 overall player in this series? I don't know. Darren Perry's an 84. Anthony Ross is at an 84. Adam Weaver is at an 82. Vincent Daughtry, Brad Boyd, Eddie Fine, Ryan Nugent. Just a bunch of players that have really gotten better throughout this training. Brad Wheeler goes up by 2. Anything else significant? Kevin Orts, he goes up by 1. And then here's the guys who didn't get anything out of training, apparently. Players we're going to be redshirting this season. Ryan Carter, the speedy running back. Since Vince Robinson's sticking around for another year, let's let Carter get that extra year of training in. We're also going to be redshirting our new fullback, Sean Gore, seeing as we got 2 of them on the roster. With David Pope graduating after this year, Terrence Williams is going to be taking over that guard position, meaning we're going to redshirt him for his freshman season. We got more depth on the defensive line than I initially thought, so Gavin Botts is going to be redshirting as well. Brandon Wheeler had a solid freshman year, but we're going to redshirt him for this next year. Let Kyle McDaniel play a little bit more for his senior year. And since we have crazy depth, just linebackers as a whole, we're going to be redshirting our only freshmen. I mean, look at all these linebackers we have on the squad. Yeah, we have no lack of them right now. So now that we know who's going to be redshirted, let's take a look at our depth chart going into season 11. Kevin Fuller is going to be the starting quarterback. Lee Mullins really earned that backup spot last year, so that's where he's going to be for his senior season. Vince Robinson's going to be the starter with Brad Boyd backing him up, and then Russell Slater there, and then Nathan is actually pretty fast too, 93 speed. He's even faster than Carter. Donnie Lewis, he's going to be our fullback. Marcus Lumpkin's currently going to be wide receiver number 1. He's got 97 speed. Will Black with 94 speed. And then we're going to have Paul Washington in the slot again. I might move him outside because he is 6'5" and has like 94 jumping. But his speed isn't great. I don't know how well he's going to do at stretching the field. Ben Collins, his last year, he's obviously going to be our tight end. Vincent Daughtry at left tackle. Adam Weaver, our 5'5" guard. He's going to be playing on that left side. Sterling Johnson as our center. David Pope, right guard, followed up by Corey Johnson. Mike Long is going to be starting on the defensive line. He's a 78 overall. Kevin Thomas opposite of him. PJ Morris and Kyle McDaniel going to make up the interior defensive linemen. Robert Alexander is going to be playing left outside linebacker. He has yet to take a snap from Montana State. Jimmy Kent, he's an impact player now, and he's going to be taking over the middle linebacker role with Jesse Schroeder behind him, and then Darren Perry taking over the right outside linebacker spot. Cornerback is going to be led by Kevin Orts and Brett Garrett on the outside, with Cole Hurd and Eddie Fine being our nickel and dime corners. Anthony Parquette is going to be our free safety. Anthony Ross, our strong safety, so just a pair of Anthonys in the secondary. Gabriel Fields, our kicker. Larry Burley is still going to be our punter for his senior season. Lumpkin and Black are going to be our kick returners and punt returners. And Gabriel Fields is going to be kicking off for us. Well, here's a look at our schedule. We're going to be opening things up at number 8, Nebraska, before hosting Wyoming, having an early bye week, and then playing at Arizona State, the team that took like 3 of the guys we were looking at this year. Then we have conference play, and then it will not let me have the Grizzlies, the Brawl of the Wild, be the last game of the season. I've tried almost every team, and every time it just tells me I can't remove the opponent. So I just say, screw it, we're going to be going to Bama, because hopefully we'll be undefeated and on our way to the national championship or whatever. I don't know. This has been frustrating. I've been trying like 15 minutes to try to get it so, our last game of the season is against Montana, but it's being difficult. So you know what? Screw it. We're going to Alabama, even though they're not the Alabama that we know today. They're not even ranked currently, but who knows? Maybe they will be by the end of the season. And that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed it, leaving a like on the video is always appreciated. And until next time, this has been Jeffrey, reminding you to stay moist.